guests, graduands, and colleagues. As chair of the Institute, it is my very great pleasure to welcome you to this rather unusual graduation and presentation ceremony this year. I do hope that you're all keeping safe and well. This year we welcome for the first time students who've studied at our Abu Dhabi campus. In these extraordinary times, it is more important than ever that we join together to celebrate your considerable achievements. Today marks the culmination of a huge amount of hard work on your part and on ours too. On these occasions, I usually commend our graduands for successfully navigating the challenges that have presented themselves during their time with us. Financial, intellectual, and organizational pressures can present difficulties even in normal years, particularly for those who've juggled study alongside full-time employment. You have my great admiration for coping so well and emerging triumphant with a qualification which we hope will open many doors for you. You have, in addition to your academic achievements, shown a great deal of resilience and adaptability, qualities which we will all need in abundance in a post-COVID world. In common with all universities, we were obliged to move into online teaching mode almost overnight. And today is an excellent opportunity for you and I to say thank you to our wonderful faculty and professional staff at the Institute for the way in which they've handled the enormous disruption over the last 8 months. And standing by you during your journey have been your family, friends, and supporters. Today is an appropriate occasion to acknowledge the major part that they have played. And finally, I would like to thank the banks and other financial institutions for their very valued support of all of our programs and all of our students. Today you are joining our alumni community, who share our commitment to developing and maintaining the high standards of professionalism and competence within banking and our passion for lifelong learning. I very much hope that you will stay in touch with us and with each other and become active members of that community, whether you be in the UK or in Abu Dhabi or elsewhere. We will be very interested to hear about your progress and to support you in any way that we can. We will also need your support because the experience and insight you gain as you forge successful careers will become invaluable to future cohorts of students. Passing on the baton to the next generation, helping others achieve their ambition as you yourselves have been helped. This is one of the most fulfilling and rewarding things that we can do in life. Indeed, many of you have already contributed your time to support the Institute in various ways. You have really made a difference to us and to your fellow students. You are entering or indeed continuing your careers within the world of banking and financial services at a time of momentous change. Change which creates challenges but also provides opportunity. For years before COVID, we talked about digitalization in banking, how younger customers wanted banking services delivered via an app they could access on their phone. Now, in a COVID world, it's not just the younger generation. Everyone, including me, wants and expects to deal with their bank remotely through an app or via Zoom. Of course, it's not just customer behavior, but also the workforce, which has been profoundly impacted by the virus. Banks have adapted quickly and successfully to working from home, and many staff are very happy to stay in their home offices. Banks and other financial services firms will need to create flexible options for their staff and are working hard to create their agile models. In other respects, banks have won or won back many supporters during this difficult time and are held in much higher regard than they were a few years ago. Supporting their customers as best they can, showing compassion in times of stress, with an increasing focus on ESG, their reputation has improved immeasurably. It is a very dynamic environment, and you, of course, will draw on the technical knowledge and competence you have, I am sure, acquired during your study with us. But you will also need to keep an agile and adaptable mindset, just as you've had to do this year. We wish you all the very best for the future. It is now my enormous pleasure to introduce Professor Maria Carapeto, Dean of the Institute, who will formally open the presentation ceremony.
Congregation, I am pleased to present the following qualifications where each student has pursued the relevant course of study and has satisfied the examiners. Professional Certificate in Banking, Oliver Spur. Certificate of Higher Education, Financial Services, Zafir Chaudhry. Samuel Coughlin, Michael Harris, James Leach, Edward McCabe, Jack Mitchell, Andres Moreira, Mia Tinsley, Vasile Zugraf, Vikash Shokshi, Jordan Crossley, Ryan Dixon, Kevin McKenna, Mark Schurman. Diploma of Higher Education, Finance, Investment and Risk, Michael Tsotzos. The part-time Bachelor of Science in Banking Practice and Management with honors, Matthew Baker, Pervez Batki, Daphne Sientar, Jennifer Lomax, Shiraz Mouaden, Anna Wickards. In October 2017, LIBF received its first intake of degree-level apprenticeship students from Barclays. The following graduands are the first cohort to graduate successfully from this program. The Apprenticeship Bachelor of Science in Banking Practice and Management, Li Zhen. The Apprenticeship Bachelor of Science in Banking Practice and Management with honors, Leah Bailey, Danny Baker, Nathan Blissett, James Bolton, Joseph Brett, Alice Bright, Charlotte Cattell, Imogen Cummins, Owen Dady, Louis Dellar, Thomas Fordham, Alexander Gleave, Zach Hughes, Charlotte Ishmael, Megan Leatherland, Fiona MacDonald, Fionn Parry, Tamia Rees, Max Riegel, Henry Simpson Lucas, Alexander Swanson, Connor Tanzi, Charlotte Williams, Harriet Wozniak, Sam Hughes. I now present our full-time degree programs. Bachelor of Science in Banking Practice and Management with honors. Alfie Andrews Maniloff, Jasmine Crabb, Toby Gooch, Jack Griffiths, Brandon Martin, Bachelor of Science in Finance, Investment and Risk. Kayan Mobed, and the Bachelor of Science in Finance, Investment and Risk with honors. William Allen, Dom Almond, Olayinka Babalola, Charlie Barrow, Robert Brown, Abby Colton, Arnold Dembe, William Fordry, Ilona Gega, Vinnie Glynn, Samuel Hoffman, Zoya Hussein, George Jackson, Aala Geshvari Hazle, Haran Lancaster, Jasdeep Lewers, Reese Mitchell, Adam Moore, Alex Morris, Ion Nagurnia, Alessandro Nanucci, Samuel Ozagi, Thomas Popworth, Robbie Plant, Louis Rosher, Muhammad Shahib, Ben Springle, Jamie Steer, Robert Stefanotti, Hannah Turner, James Wigglesworth, Samantha Zhou. I now present our postgraduate programs. Postgraduate Certificate, Banking and Finance, Kigotso Majila. Postgraduate Diploma in Banking Practice and Management, Helen Baker. Master of Science in Banking Practice and Management, Michael da Costa, Ludwig Malia, Natalie Murray, Pascal Philogene, Graham Tipple, Joseph Zamit. Master of Science in Banking and Finance, Denette Botchway, Jean-François Claire, Mohamed Salim Musa Damri, Oliver Dewurst, Lisa Gurung, Mark Knowles. Dharamveer Matabudul. In January 2019, LIBF received its first intake of students studying for the Certificate in Sustainable Finance in partnership with Abu Dhabi Global Markets. The following graduands are the first cohort to graduate successfully from this program. Certificate in Sustainable Finance. Shada Elborno. Rian Pethan. Julia Woywood. Hamad Alfardan. Belinda Scott. That concludes the presentation of awards. I'd like now to introduce Kareem Reefay, Regional Director of Gulf and MENA, who is joining us today from Abu Dhabi.
Thank you, Maria. It's a pleasure to take part in the London Institute of Banking and Finance 2020 graduation. I would like to start by congratulating our graduates of the Executive Certificate in Sustainable Finance for successfully completing the certificate. Participants tackled regional and international issues of sustainable finance through real-life scenarios and applied theory developed by subject matter industry experts. Our 2020 graduates are the first cohort for the program delivered in partnership with Abu Dhabi Global Markets Academy in Abu Dhabi. We are so proud of our pioneers. You have all completed a Level 7 postgraduate certificate during unprecedented times, a program that started face-to-face and finished virtual due to the pandemic. However, at no stage did you give up or were discouraged, and for that, a very well-deserved congratulations. You should be very proud of your hard work and resilience, as are we. This postgraduate certificate is your ticket to drive change within your organizations and the region. Lastly, I would like to quote the late His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, peace upon him. Education is like a lantern which lights your way in a dark alley. May the future bring more success for you. You will always be a part of the London Institute of Banking and Finance. We are your lifelong partner for financial education. Congratulations and welcome to our alumni network. I would now like to introduce Hamad Mazrouei, Abu Dhabi Global Markets Chief Operating Officer, Abu Dhabi Global Markets Academy Managing Director.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Kareem. I'm more than happy to take part in this year's graduation. I would like to congratulate you graduates on your determination and willingness to succeed in the face of uncertainty. This is a remarkable time to graduate, and although the future may seem unpredictable, the graduates here today have shown their ability to adapt, overcome, and thrive. On behalf of Abu Dhabi Global Market Academy, I would like to sincerely thank the London Institute of Banking and Finance for their remarkable work and collaboration to deliver this first ever cohort for the Executive Certificate in Sustainable Finance. Graduates, you are a testament to the UAE's leadership and determination to shape Abu Dhabi and the UAE into a global epicenter for sustainable finance. ADGM's recently launched a sustainability report that recognizes your effort as the first graduating class of the Executive Certificate in Sustainable Finance. You are playing an integral role in realizing ADGM's core sustainability principles to develop a thriving and innovative hub that will efficiently channel financing and investment into different verticals of sustainability. You should all be proud of your achievements. Wish you all the best and success with your future endeavors.
Thank you, Hamad. Now we go back to Alex Fraser, Chief Executive Officer of the London Institute of Banking and Finance in London.
Thank you so much for that, Kareem. Now, every year, the London Institute of Banking and Finance honours a distinguished member of the financial services community with the highest academic award, an Honorary Masters degree. The career of this year's recipient encompasses academia and regulation, and indeed in recent years, a host of non-executive and advisory roles, both in the UK and internationally. He has also played a leading part in the development of our institute over recent years. Dr. Paul Fisher studied economics with statistics at the University of Bristol, and then moved to Warwick, where he studied first for a master's and then completed his doctorate in macroeconomic modelling in 1990. Other academic achievements include an honorary doctorate from Richmond, the American International University in London, which was conferred on Paul in 2015. Having completed his PhD, now in his early 30s, Paul left Warwick and began working life at the Bank of England. He held a variety of senior roles over the 26 years at the bank, with his last role as deputy head of the Prudential Regulation Authority, where he took on the challenge of climate change and its huge impact on the financial sector. He is perhaps best remembered as Executive Director for Markets, and in that role, he was a member of the Monetary Policy Committee that introduced quantitative easing in 2009. Other senior roles at the bank included Head of Foreign Exchange Division from 2000 to 2009, and Private Secretary to the then Governor, Sir Edward George, from 1999 to 2002. Whilst at the bank, he also served on numerous committees. As well as the Monetary Policy Committee, he was a member of the Interim Financial Policy Committee and of the PRA Board. And internationally, he was a member of the Markets Committee from 2002 to 2008. Since his retirement from the bank, he has been, to use a hackneyed phrase, busier than ever, both within financial services and in academia. He is a leading expert on regulation and climate change and is in much demand as a speaker around the globe. He was a member of the European Commission High-Level Experts Group on Sustainable Finance and of the UK Green Finance Initiative Task Force. He is a fellow of the Cambridge Institute of Sustainable Leadership. Other non-exec roles include the chair of the London Bullion Market Association and director of the UK Debt Management Office. He also acts as a consultant at the Centre for Central Banking Studies at the Bank of England. Current academic appointments include Senior Research Fellow at King's College's Business School, Visiting Professor in Economics and Finance at Richmond, the American International University in London. He's also worked for the IMF as a liquidity expert and on central banking for Oliver Wyman. Paul has published numerous articles in journals and contributed to official reports and academic works on monetary policy, on financial markets, on exchange rates, and more recently, on sustainability. Sometimes he has done this in collaboration with some of the world's leading academics. Paul's association with the Institute dates back a decade or more when he became chair of our Board of Governors. However, his relationship with one of our number, Professor John Hearn, goes back to 1976 when John taught Paul economics at a sixth form college in Essex, and it was indeed thanks to John that Paul was introduced to the Institute. John's connections with Paul since then have usually involved a hearty curry, as Paul is a great lover of Indian food. As chair of the Institute, Paul saw the organization through its early challenging years as a university college. At a time when that particular part of our work was not seen as a priority by all board members, Paul was a huge advocate, and all of us today see the legacy of his tenacity. Paul continues to lend his support to us, writing in our journal and carrying out teaching engagements from time to time. What I have learnt in the 6 years or so since I first met Paul is that the answer to an email asking for help is never no, occasionally maybe, but mostly yes. And for that, I and all of my colleagues are deeply grateful. So, Paul, it is in recognition of your achievements as a regulator at a time of momentous change in the industry, your significant contribution to academic thinking in your field, and of your unfailing commitment to this institute and everything that we stand for, that we are so delighted to confer this honorary degree on you today.
Thank you, Alex, for those kind words. I feel honoured to be recognised with this award by the LIBF. I first came into contact with the Institute back in 2011, when they were seeking a new chair of the Board of Trustees. I was impressed by the substance and quality of the qualifications they were offering, the other activities they were pursuing, and also by the people whose careers they were supporting. The fact that I retained a professional association with the Institute some 9 years later is because I remain impressed, not least by the willingness and ability of the Institute to change with the circumstances and the needs of the financial sector. Now, it's customary to offer a few words of advice on occasions such as this, and so I want to muse a little bit on life strategies of all things. I'm sure you've all had someone ask you what your career plan is. Where do you expect to be in 5 years' time, or 10 years? I'm glad no one ever asked me that. I would never have had an answer. My career aims from the start were relatively simple. When I was about 16, I had the notion to be the first from my family to go to university, and in the next few years, basically developed a strategy to go as far as I could academically until I reached whatever my limit might be. I had very little idea about what a university was until I actually attended one. Similarly, I didn't know much about economics as a subject. I chose it because it seemed socially and politically relevant, yet based on analytical principles. It was also a young subject where one might have idealistic ambitions to contribute at the frontier of knowledge without becoming impossibly specialist, as I thought of the physical sciences at the time. When I eventually left the university environment in 1990, PhD in tow, to join the Bank of England, it was more of a financial and family-related decision than anything else. I had no idea what the Bank of England did. My strategy was to stay as long as I was learning something new and adding to my CV. The bank's economics division at the time, which I joined on a short-term contract, was not actually unlike a university economics department. It actually took me many years to find out about the other things going on in the bank, from banking supervision to foreign exchange and reserves management. I was still learning when I left the bank after 26 years. Although remaining with only one employer for all that time, I effectively had 6 different careers. I moved between economic research, forecasting, policy and governance, financial markets and supervision. On the way, I picked up new interests ranging from climate change to precious metals. I suppose the point of this narrative is that I had a strategy, but I never had a plan as such. For me, that strategy worked better than any plan ever could. A good strategy, in my view, is an approach that helps one make decisions when faced with new challenges. A good strategy is simple and memorable, and sufficiently flexible not to get blown off course by short-term challenges. Plans can, and most frequently do, unfortunately, go awry, often because of events outside one's control. A strategy might fail, but should be more adaptable than any plan. Everyone is different, of course. We all have our own ways of seeking success and happiness. But this concept of strategy is worth emphasising because it applies in many circumstances. For example, the Bank of England and its Monetary Policy Committee have had a good, simple strategy over many years and a very successful track record on inflation targeting as a result. Let's consider one or two more dubious examples. How would you describe the government's strategy on the pandemic? Could you even describe it? What about the strategy of society, internationally, on preventing climate change, or on eradicating poverty, or any of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals agreed by the United Nations? On all these topics, there are plenty of plans, most of which fail to come to fruition and are sometimes conflicting. So I commend to you the idea of having simple long-term strategies, and that should include learning as much as you can at every opportunity. That will involve you in formal study, as it clearly has already for many of you, and it will also mean repeatedly saying yes to unplanned opportunities for learning something new, and taking career options because you are keen to learn and grow, not just because you can actually do the job described or get paid more for it. Continually educating oneself is a strategy that I think always pays off in the longer run. So I would like to offer my thanks again to the LIBF in that context, not just for this reward. I have learned a lot from my connections with the Institute, and I am still learning. I hope that all those graduating today will likewise continue to embrace learning for many years to come. It now gives me great pleasure to welcome our student speaker, Samantha Zhou, who is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Finance, Investment and Risk with honours and is also a Student Engagement Prize recipient.
Thanks, Paul. Good afternoon, everyone. I feel grateful and privileged to be giving this speech today. Now, before I begin, let us take a little second. Congratulations. Congratulations to you, our families, and to all of the staff that have made it possible for us to get here. 2020 has certainly tested us all, but I'm proud to say that we have all smashed it. Right at the start, most of us were full of uncertain energy and plentiful possibilities. Now, whether we admit it or not, we all entered this transformational part of our lives to both find our power and purpose. Whether this was by becoming the snacker or the keen questioner at each networking night. Let me revisit this statement later in my speech. Although we were not in the conventional university bubble, a unique family was formed, one in which much banter, intellect, and stories were shared, mainly whilst queuing at the coffee machine. Of course, each and every journey has its wondrous differences. My own journey has consisted of being an entrepreneur, an investor, a mentor, and therefore a believer. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what I mean by this. I mean that I became a believer in myself, others, and the world that I live in, which has brought me to becoming the person that I am today. I can only imagine the people that all of us have been throughout our time, especially graduating during the time of a global pandemic. Now's the time that we can really reflect some more, alter our options, and always strive for our own happiness and success. How different were our priorities back then compared with our priorities navigating and challenging and insane environment. If there is one fact that I'm confident of, it is the resilience of a 2020 graduate. I'm sure that the London Institute of Banking and Finance, for me, has been a university that has inspired, supported, and pushed us all in many ways, whether we recognise this now or are yet to. The Institute delivered in such a profound manner, allowing us to hear from thought-leading banks and fintechs to really investing in opening up our career channels. I cannot express enough the change it made to my own education, learning from experienced and passionate lecturers that dedicated their time to ensuring each and every one of us were not just a number. I would also like to touch upon the brilliant time I had whilst interning with the Institute, which led me to discovering sustainable finance and the innovation that exists within financial education. On the behalf of myself and the class of 2020, thank you to everyone at the Institute. I believe that we all have in common the determination to achieve and manifest our potential. It is now the time to let that potential blossom. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha, for the wonderful words that I'm sure all of our graduates will be able to take away with them. Each year, the London Institute of Banking and Finance recognises through the presentation of individual prizes graduates who have demonstrated exceptional performance. The Scholar Prizes are awarded to those students who have demonstrated outstanding academic achievement throughout their studies. This year, the Scholar Prize for the part-time programs are presented to these students. For the Professional Diploma in Banking, Practice and Management is awarded to Kevin McKenna. For the Bachelor of Science in Banking, Practice and Management with honours is awarded to Jennifer Lomax. For the full-time programmes, for the Bachelor of Science in Banking, Practice and Management with honours, Jasmine Crabb. For the Bachelor of Science in Finance, Investment and Risk with honours, Aaron Lancaster. For the Apprenticeship Bachelor of Science in Banking, Practice and Management with Honours, Charlotte Williams. We also make awards to those students who have achieved the highest overall marks, made a particular contribution to their programme or supported their cohort through the student engagement and representation. The student prizes for the part-time programmes are presented to these students. For the Professional Diploma in Banking, Practice and Management is awarded to Kevin McKenna. For the Bachelor of Science in Banking, Practice and Management with Honours, Jennifer Lomax. For the Master of Science in Banking, Practice and Management, Natalie Murray. For the Master of Science in Banking and Finance, Mark Knowles. The student prize for the full-time programmes is presented to the following student. For the Bachelor of Science in Finance, Investment and Risk, Samantha Zhou. For the Apprenticeship, Bachelor of Science in Banking, Practice and Management with Honours, Lewis Dellar. The dissertation prizes are awarded to students in recognition of their outstanding academic achievement. For the full-time programmes, Bachelor of Science in Finance, Investment and Risk with Honours, Hannah Turner. We greatly appreciate the support of the Worshipful Company of International Bankers and would like to thank Philip Green in providing a prize for the most outstanding dissertation submitted by a student of the part-time Masters in Science in Banking, Practice and Management. This year's prize is awarded to Joseph Zammit. For the part-time programme, Master of Science in Banking and Finance, Dennet Batchway. It now gives me great pleasure to welcome our Apprenticeship Student speaker, Lewis Dellar, who is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Banking, Practice and Management with Honours.
Thanks very much, Hema. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start by saying thank you to Karen and the entire LIBF faculty for organising our graduation ceremony, despite the circumstances. I know that everyone at the LIBF would have wanted us to be stood at the Guildhall today to receive our qualification, that everyone has worked so hard for over the last 3 years. I have the great honour of representing my fellow apprentices at the first graduation to feature our unique course. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lewis Dellar and I joined the Relationship Management Apprenticeship at 18 years old, making myself one of the youngest of the cohort. I had left college, frankly, fed up with traditional education. I had a frank discussion with a careers advisor at my college about how no university course particularly interested me. The careers advisor continued to push university as the only option available. A week later, I attended a careers fair and got chatting to a representative of the apprenticeship.gov stand. I was told that I could get a job at a wide range of companies and I could also gain a qualification at the same time. I applied for a number of firms from Cisco Enterprises to Krispy Kreme Donuts. And fast forward around 6 months later, I was offered a place on the Barclays Relationship Management Apprenticeship Scheme. To be quite honest, I had little idea what relationship management actually entailed and even less of an inkling as to how at 18 years old I was going to be working at a bank. Following our induction event in Northampton, I started my time as an apprentice working at Barclays Wealth Management. I would be lying if I said I found it easy. I felt frankly bewildered that they had placed this 18-year-old child armed with a poorly fitting suit from Next to work in wealth management. But through the support of some fantastic colleagues, I was moulded from a nervous student into a confident colleague. Whilst at work, I was given a day off a week to complete my university studies, and roughly every quarter we would descend on the LIBF campus to do a crash course on our next module. I will always have great memories of our university blocks, a group of kids descending on Shoreditch High Street for a week. Our cohort of apprentices are from all over the UK, Glasgow, Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham, Wales and Essex, to name a few. The range of accents in our lecture room was truly impressive. But this made our course even more special, as the group was truly diverse and attracted young, aspiring professionals from all walks of life, something that the traditional universities often struggle to achieve. After my first lecture week, I felt motivated to fully commit to my course, something I had admittedly lacked during my A-levels. And I think this is why apprenticeships need to be promoted more, because not every young person learns or is motivated in the same way. For myself personally, I needed to be completing a course that was relevant to the career I was just beginning. Everything I was being taught at the LIBF felt like a value add to my own knowledge to be used in my day-to-day role. This makes apprenticeships so much more than a political policy. It is an opportunity for corporations to access a wider range of potential talent. And so I'd like everyone to raise a glass at home to the next generation of directors in the finance world. Cheers.
Thank you, Lewis. Each year, at graduation, we acknowledge and celebrate achievements and hard work that you, the graduates, have put in. But this year, we're also marking something else unique. That is your resilience and determination. I know the lockdown has not been easy, where you were very quickly transferred to online learning and taking assessments at a distance, but you adapted and rose to that challenge. So, on behalf of my colleagues, I want to say how proud we are of you. We know that this virus has impacted everyone everywhere. The health and well-being of those in our communities, the economic and financial sustainability of our future, and also the educational pathway for our young. So this means that as a graduate in 2020, you have a very important role to play in building back the future. And you will be able to do this. With each challenge comes along opportunity or a chance to see things differently. And thanks to your education, you have an opportunity to use the tools and knowledge you have gained over the years to truly make an impact and drive change. Most of all, the world is looking out for positive determination and energy. And I know that each one of you have it in you to spearhead these changes, and we at the London Institute of Banking and Finance look forward to hearing about the ways in which you have used your skills and wisdom to develop your careers. So, as you leave here today, you too will be joining our thriving alumni and membership community. Being part of this community gives you the chance to support those following in your footsteps. For example, you could consider becoming a mentor, perhaps an alumni ambassador, or even a donor. However you wish to engage, please do remain connected with us. And, graduates, as you know, during your journey, actually probably even before your journey started, you have been supported and guided by some of the most important people in your lives. Your family, friends, colleagues. They have all been there to encourage you through your journey. The support may have been moral, emotional, or even financial, or should I say especially financial. So yes, today is about you, but it's also about them and the journey that they have been on, hand in hand alongside you, through your ups and downs, stresses and celebrations. And if this was a standard graduation ceremony, at this point, I would be asking you to stand up and clap and cheer and shout and show your appreciation to everyone who has been your anchor during this time. But wherever you are today, I still ask you to please do show your appreciation in a way that is suitable. Before I close and say goodbye, I wanted to say that this is not where our celebrations end. We will invite you to an event that we will hold whenever it is safe to do so. So I look forward to that day. Until then, I wish you every happiness and success. Congratulations to the graduating class of 2020.
My warmest congratulations to all of you on your fantastic achievement. You have overcome, I am sure, innumerable challenges in your journey with us. I wish you all the very best in your future endeavours, and all of us at the Institute look forward to hearing from you in the future and hope that you will stay engaged with us. Well done to you all.
I would like to especially say a huge congratulations to our first ever degree level apprentices who are graduating today. It's been an absolute pleasure being part of your apprenticeship journey over the past 3 years, and you should all be so proud of everything that you've achieved.
Well done to our graduates, and best wishes for the future.
Hello guys, and congratulations on your graduation. Best of luck for the future.
Hi everyone, I really wish I could be with you in person today, but I really want to wish you the best for your future and congratulations on graduating from the London Institute of Banking and Finance. Please keep in touch.
Congratulations on passing your degree. I'm sure you're going to go from strength to strength from here on in, and my best wishes go with you.
Congratulations to you all. Be proud.
Congratulations to our full-time students and best wishes for your future careers.
Congratulations to everyone. Well done. Go forward, and remember, optimism is contagious. Good luck.
Congratulations, graduands. Remember, you've achieved this in 2020. Think what you could achieve in the future. The world's your oyster. So go celebrate, keep in touch, and many congratulations once again.
Congratulations to all of you students who are graduating this year. Well done and good luck.
My congratulations on your graduation success and my best wishes for your future aspirations.
To all my students, it was a pleasure meeting you, a privilege teaching you, and may I wish you the very best in your life and every success in your career.
Congratulations to the Certificate in Sustainable Finance graduates from Abu Dhabi, wishing you all the best for the future.
Congratulations to those who graduated with the Certificate in Sustainable Finance. I hope it makes a real difference to you and to the planet.